What is up, Star Wars fans? Welcome to the Star Wars Stop. There has been a gigantic leak for Star Wars Battlefront 2, essentially outlining future content that will come to the game all the way up until 2020. I mean, we're talking stuff like Mandalore, Ahsoka, a Rogue One DLC with Jin and Krennic, Jango Fett. I mean, there is a lot of stuff in this leak, and I really wasn't even going to cover this because I just felt that it seemed a little bit too far-fetched given the lack of content we've had in this game. But given the fact that it has exploded on Reddit and everybody's talking about it, I wanted to throw my 2 cents in and kind of help you guys gauge if this leak is real or fake. Let me just say at the outset, I do not know if this leak is real or fake. There's no verification for it. It's just this guy named Blackwing who's been leaking stuff on Reddit. And we're going to kind of go over in this video everything in this leak, and then at the end we're going to gauge if it is real or not. Now, at the outset, let me just say, the reason why I even make a video and even talk about these leaks is because, first and foremost, everybody asks me to cover the leaks because they hear about them and then they want me to talk about them. And second, I do feel like pretty much every piece of content that has come to Battlefront 2 was leaked. I mean, you really can't point to one thing that's come to this game after launch that wasn't leaked in some capacity, so leaks do often end up being true for this game. Remember, Geonosis got leaked. Ewok Hunt got leaked. I mean, the Han Solo season got leaked. Bespin, one little map being added to the game, got leaked. So leaks seem to pan out often with this game, so we should at least discuss them and give them a little bit of a, discussion rather than just saying, hey, it's a leak, don't believe it. Now, again, this leak does seem a little bit far-fetched just given the lack of content we've had in this game, but nonetheless, I'm going to get into it right now. I'm going to go over it, and I have it linked in the description as well so you can see all the content written out that will be in this leak. So first and foremost, again, like I said, this is content all the way up until 22, and I'm going to go in order of when this leaker says this content will be coming. First thing we're going to get is a Chewbacca health on kill card. So we all knew that was around the corner, so that's nothing big to kind of predict. He then gives some more interesting info in this leak. He says basically Obi-Wan's model is finished. They are currently making the skins for it, and the default skin will be his Revenge of the Sith appearance. Now, this is an interesting choice and something that I did not expect because, remember, Obi-Wan will be dropping with the map Geonosis, so one would think that his default skin would be his appearance in Episode 2, but this leaker is claiming that he will be coming with his Revenge of the Sith appearance as default. Now, he also states that Grievous will have a rage ability, and he will have a cape and no cape skin. So that does sound believable to me. Him having a cape and no cape skin, there's really nothing else they can do with Grievous, to be honest. Maybe a battle damaged version. And the rage ability also makes a lot of sense for him, as I do believe he will play similar to Darth Vader. He also claims in this leak that Geonosis Hunt is planned. So if you liked Ewok Hunt, it seems like we may be getting a version of Hunt with Geonosians. And that does make sense because they have said many times that they want to do future versions of the hunt mode with different aliens. The leaker also claims that lightsaber combat is also being reworked again, which I'm down for them to take a look at again because I've never really been satisfied with lightsaber combat in this game. It doesn't really do justice to the movies in my opinion, so if they're working on it, great, more power to them. But I really don't see them getting it 100% right until we get into Battlefront 3 potentially. The leaker then states that we will be getting a Maul skin. He also states that Conquest, the new game mode, will also be on Mos Eisley. That makes a lot of sense, and so does the Maul skin in a way because you have Solo being released for home release right now, and it makes sense for them to cross-market. Also, he states that there will be private matches coming to the game, which is awesome. It is something that obviously should have been in the game at launch, but hey, we're getting it potentially. That's what this leak is saying. Again, not real. I don't know if it's real or not, but that's what the leak is saying. He also claims we will be getting Utapau. That's interesting. That probably it is a pretty highly requested map, and seeing as we're getting Obi-Wan and Grievous, it would make sense to add that map. Maybe if nothing else, just for an HVV, if not a full-blown Galactic Assault map. He then goes over content from March, April, and May of 2019. He states we will get 4 maps, Scarif will be included, and Jin and Krennic. Now this is pretty believable because I do think that after the Clone Wars DLC, they will have to do something, and they won't want to jump right and do another Clone Wars DLC. They'll probably want to do this Rogue One deal because it should be noted that Rogue One is basically kind of in the game already because they already have Jin and Krennic from the first Battlefront. They have the models for them. And they also have Scarif kind of in the campaign for Battlefront 2, so it makes sense for them to just flesh that out and give content for the multiplayer. Then he states something pretty strange. He says Mace Windu will be worked on / in the files. He's saying essentially, from what I understand in his wording, that when Scarif comes to the game with Jin and Krennic, we will be seeing Mace Windu in the files because he will be actively being worked on. Little bit strange. I honestly didn't expect to see Mace Windu coming to this game, but hey, that's what this leak is saying. Now in June, July, and August of 2019, he states that we will be getting Ryloth, Mustafar, Salu Kami, and Boz Pity. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit strange in my opinion. I can understand Mustafar 100%. Ryloth I can sort of understand, seeing as there's a space map for Ryloth already in the game, but Salu Kami and Boz Pity are just unknown maps, and it's strange to me that they would work on those over some other locations that people actually know about. I mean, I know only the diehard fans are really going to even know what Salu Kami and Boz Pity are. So it's a strange choice on DICE's part, if this leak ends up being true, that they would, make those maps. But anyways, now he gets into September, October, November, December of 2019 and into 2020. He states that we will be getting Ahsoka, Jango Fett. Well, that's kind of believable given that Ahsoka is so highly requested and so is Jango Fett. He then states in October we will get Mandalore because Disney is requesting it to kind of help them cross-market the Clone Wars Season 7 that will be released on Disney Play. He also states there will be weapons, and this is kind of a big one. He states at this point there will no longer be cross-era heroes. This does make sense to me. It might break people, a lot of people do tell me it breaks their immersion too. If they're thinking ahead, seeing Darth Vader fighting Anakin Skywalker on Hoth, it's just going to be weird to some people. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they got rid of the cross-era hero system. Next, he states with no date, Mon Calamari officer skin, Sullust map, Hut contracts, Order 66 mode possibly, generic Jedi, essentially he's talking about like a Jedi Enforcer class here, Crab Droids, Magna Guards, First Order, Riot Stormtroopers, Vandor, and more solo content, Rebels content, like the cartoon series Rebels with Lothal. And then he says at the very end that Coruscant is a very problematic map, so I guess that's something they're not really considering. There's no exact date for this, but there's a server browser, stats, and yeah, it does kind of. Now, one thing to note is now that Battlefield is out, it does make sense that there will be a lot more devs working on Battlefront 2, and this kind of makes a little bit of credence in that we would have a lot more developers working on this game and thus more content. But anyways, that's everything in the leak. In fact, he actually did also say, when he's talking about those enforcers towards the end, Crab Droids, Magna Guards, First Order, Riot Stormtroopers, he also states, or Knights of Ren. That would obviously be pretty cool. So that's everything in the leak, guys, for the most part. I'm going to link it in the description if you want to go through all the content yourself. There's a shortened version and a longer version. But let me go over now. Do I think this leak is real or fake? Well, the bottom line here, guys, is it all sounds well and good. It sounds like reasonable content, except for those maps that I see. That's the only thing that sounds a little bit out of the ordinary. Salu Kami and Boz Pity. Everything else seems to line up with what people have been requesting, obviously. But my biggest problem with this leak is that it just seems like a hell of a lot of content. And it just, with the lack of content we've had in 1 year, do I really believe we will be getting all of this content? I don't know, guys. You're gonna have to make up your own opinion on that. But the very easy way to decide if this leak is real or fake is simply to see if the most recent items on this list come true. Essentially, if we get Chewbacca on health on kill card, I won't be convinced. But maybe if Obi-Wan's model, actually, if the default skin is his Revenge of the Sith appearance, if Grievous does have a rage ability and a cape no cape skin, if we do get Geonosis Hunt, if lightsaber combat is reworked, if we do get a Maul skin, if we do get Conquest on Mos Eisley in private matches, then I might be willing to believe some of the stuff that's coming later in this guy's league, like Scarab, Jyn Erso, Mandalore. I just can't believe this much content until I see some proof. This guy has not provided proof, first and foremost, and he hasn't predicted stuff in the past that has come true. So it's just hard for me to believe anything he says at this point. If this stuff, some of this stuff, comes true in the next coming weeks and months, then I will probably start to give a little more value to the stuff that he's listed in this league. But I have to see something like that first before I say that this league is real or fake. But let me just say, again, I can't state it enough. Pretty much everything that's come to Battlefront 2 has been leaked. You know what I'm saying? There's not one, pretty much every piece of content that's come to this game after launch has also come in a leak. So I do need to give a little bit of value to these leaks when I see them, and especially when I see them exploding in the community, I need to kind of make a video to explain that yes, this is a thing, people are talking about this, let me give my 2 cents and help break down if I believe this is real or not real. And to be honest with you, I don't have an answer if this is real or not real. Again, this guy did not provide proof. He has not been right in the past about anything, so it's very hard for me to say that this is real. We'll just have to wait and see if some of this stuff comes true, and then it'll give us a good indicator of whether or not the stuff he has listed in this massive leak outlining content up until 2020 is true or not. But that is everything in the leak, guys. That's my opinion on it. That's my breakdown. You guys let me know in the comment section if you think this is real or you think this is fake. Man, if this pans out to be true, I am obviously ecstatic, and this will literally be one of the biggest rejuvenations for a game that has been through so much ever, and I really want this leak to be true, but I can't say yes or no until I see some of this stuff come true, and we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. But again, let me know in the comments if you think this is real or fake, and I'll see you guys later. Have an awesome day.